What's up, guys? Today I just wanted to do a really quick vlog on how the car is coming along, how the car feels, some things that I've done to the car recently to get ready for this autocross season. Initially, what I wanted to do was get all of this stuff done before the autocross season happened, the first event, but that didn't happen. So what I ended up doing was a lot happened like right before the event, a lot happened right after the event, and we just had the second event. So to recap the things that I did do, what I really wanted to get done was replace the subframe. The subframe is basically rotted out. It's very rusty, it's rotted out, and it looks really bad. So I figured for like inspection, I might have a hard time for that or something. And I just figured, I'm gonna call the guys down at Moore and say, do you guys have a subframe lying around? I know a lot of people get rid of theirs or whatever. Do you have any lying around? I didn't think I'd have any luck, and they said, hey, we have one in stock. Matt Cole down there got in touch with me and he says, hey, I have one for you. I'll put it outside, just come pick it up. So I go pick it up, and no biggie, I get it. I go to start grinding it off. I look at it a little bit longer. It turns out, it's bent, it's not gonna work. So it's still sitting in my garage. I do have to take it back to them soon, hopefully, because it's just chilling there. Not that they need it, but somebody else might need it. So I did not put that on my car. Option 2 here is going to be just to rust-proof the subframe, and option 3 is essentially going to be not to do anything to it, which very well might actually happen because you don't need it per se, or just take it off if it comes to that. I'd rather just leave it there. I think there's always more problems when you just take stuff off a car. You could strip bolts, break things. If it's there, it's kind of doing its job as is. Don't worry about it. Maybe just repaint over it, rust-proof it and do what you can. It's not really a big deal, I don't think. I just have a thing about having like rusted things on your car. I like everything to be as good as possible. So number 2, the second project I had was to replace the radiator. And along with the radiator, I was going to get new hoses, new clamps, all that jazz, and new coolant, obviously, because you have to fill it up. So one thing about WRXs and all Subarus is, due to the way that the head gaskets sit on the side of the blocks and not like on the top and stuff that like normal cars have, you have to use Subaru specific coolant because it's good for the head gaskets. There's a special little additive you put in. If you watch that video, you'll see what I'm doing. It's very important you do it that way. It's also important you use quality parts. So I went with Samco hoses. Everything's black, silicone hoses. I hear they leak, not like leak like fluid all over the ground, but like permeate water through the through the actual silicone as time goes on. So I'll just have to watch my water level and see how that is. I actually found out one really crazy thing. I didn't know this, but apparently Subaru and a Neon just drove by me like really fast. And one thing I found out about Subaru coolant is it's actually concentrated coolant. So it is straight coolant. It is not a diluted 50-50 mix or anything like that. It is straight coolant. So initially what I did was I poured the entire bottle in, and I was like, oh shit, I just poured the entire bottle in here. It's all coolant. What did I do? Well, I went down to the store, went down to Walgreens. I picked up 2 gallons of distilled water. I only needed 1 gallon, but I ended up putting a whole nother gallon in there. It all got mixed around. I put the additive in, and everything's been great since. There's been no issues with it. Knock on wood. There's no wood here, but knock on the dash. There is nothing wrong with it. I went ahead and I also got an STI radiator cap. They're rated at 1.3 bar, which is 0.2 bar over the stock radiator cap. On a WRX, there is 2 radiator caps. There's one on the coolant reservoir and one on the actual radiator itself. The one that's most important and the one that controls the pressure inside the system is the one on top of the header tank by the turbo. And that's the one you're actually supposed to put this cap on. However, I didn't want to increase the pressure inside the system because you can do damage to your head gaskets. I mean, you're putting more pressure on it. So if your head gaskets are old, this is a 2004, you could do some more additional wear on them, or if there's any leaks, they could spring up. Additionally, I have a Koyo replacement radiator. It's a great radiator. It is thicker than stock, however, it is not fully aluminum and it still has the plastic end tanks on it. With a higher pressure radiator cap, you could potentially blow that out. A lot of times that happens with old stock radiators and not new ones, but I could see the problem with the new one. Right where they crimp down at, where the plastic and the metal crimp down at, you could have an issue there. So I decided I was not going to run that extra pressure up top. I just put it on the radiator to make it look cool, essentially. It is a genuine STI part made by Subaru. And I think my actual one that was on there was a little leaky. It wasn't like leaking coolant out of it. However, I don't think it was holding the amount of pressure that it should have been. That's 1.3 bar. The one on top of the radiator is about 1.1. Overall, you're not increasing the pressure in the system. Everything's good. Finally, well, actually two things. I actually recently got the airbag replaced on Friday. It is now Sunday. It's that whole Takata airbag recall thing. Had to get that done. So that is all done. No charge to me. Awesome. While it was also in there, I got the brakes flushed. I was initially going to have more do it and buy some fancy fluid. However, I did a lot of research on it. Fancy fluid's fancy fluid. Essentially, you want to have clean fluid in there. And you can have .4 fluid too. That's great. I did go with Valvoline synthetic .3 and 4. That's what it says on the container. It mixes with all types of fluid, even though I had mine completely flushed out at the dealership. They used my fluid. We were cool about that, surprisingly. And everything was good there. The fluid that was in the car was probably stock. It looked really dirty. It has definitely not been changed since I've had the car. And that was, I've had it almost 4 years now. It's going to be 4 years this summer. So it was really dirty. The pedal, just felt a little bit spongy. I have a master cylinder base on there and upgraded pads and rotors, but it still felt pretty spongy. So with the, we're gonna go to boost here. Just a little bit. With the upgraded brake fluid, it's not about having the brake fluid upgraded, but getting all the moisture out of the system, it not rotting your system out, and what you have a nice firm pedal for autocrossing and for daily driving. It took a little bit to get used to that first day, but after that, it's obviously really natural now. It feels really good, really direct, and I think it made a difference at Autocross today. Not a big difference, but just a nice difference in feel. I really like it. Keep clean fluid in your system, guys. It's so easy to do. If you don't want to do it, I didn't want to do it because I always seem to get some air bubbles in there when I do it. I did it on my old car. I took it to the dealer. They did it for $39.99. I thought it was going to be $80 or something crazy, or even more than that. It turned out to be $39, which is like nothing in my book. It saved me time from taking all the wheels off, and they have a lift and everything, so it was so much easier taking it there. It is your braking system, so you want to have it working, all the air out of it, and a complete flush. So it's done. I'm happy with it, and that's that. So you might be asking real quick, what are the plans for the car for this year? Essentially what I'll be doing is just getting new tires when I need them, probably in the middle of the season here. Everything else, I'm not adding more power. I'm not doing any other mods. There's not really much else to do. I have all the basic supporting mods to running the type of power that I'm running, the stage 2. And, everything seems to be running great. And I'm gonna keep it that way, keep the oil topped up, keep the tires on the car. I might need new brakes at some point. I'm probably just gonna go with the Stop Techs again, maybe the Hawks, I'm not really sure yet. They're like double the price of the Hawks, but the Stop Techs have been doing great so far. I like the pedal feel in them. They dust a lot, just so you know, if you're real picky about your wheels. I have gray wheels, so I'm not really concerned about the dust, but they do dust a lot. That's that. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how the car's been performing, 2 events into the season, daily driving, getting into summertime now, going to be doing some road trips and stuff like that. I will not be at Boxer Fest this year. I am on Team Fast Track, so we will not be going to Boxer Fest. I will be on Ocean City All-Wheel Drive. I will be doing road trips to up to Wellsboro, to the rallies up there, the Susquehanna, I don't know, something like that rally, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be going to State College for some fun up there, just to see everything they got up there, and some other small places in Pennsylvania. Hopefully going over to Reading for the hill climb. There's some other hill climb events that are gonna be fun to maybe go to if I can fit them in. And basically just doing a lot of autocross this year and seeing a lot of stuff. So that's the updates so far. That's how the car is going, all the updates with the car. That's pretty much all you guys wanna know about right now. So that's that. I'm almost home right now. So I hope you guys had a fun time at Autocross and everything. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.
Start begins.